All right. Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone's doing great. I hope everyone's doing amazing because I know I am. My name is Chad. I'm a motion designer and I'm learning to draw every day just to prove to people that it is not that hard. Let me drink some water. I want to draw something today. I want to do it real quick. Before I start talking about something very important to me, that may change the way I'm behaving right now in life in general, I think. This sounds big. And it's all because of a video. So let's see here. Do we have any references? We need references. Oh, this is fire. Nice. Honestly, I really enjoyed the Megamind freaking, what's it called? Like, I really enjoyed it. It was fun. It was very fun. Was I using this one? I mean, the action line is just right there. This to me, like, it doesn't feel like it goes too far before. Huh. What you said in Discord, I'm glad you like more detailed analysis sort of stuffs. Oh, actually, in the 10K hours Discord, I feel like there has been some pretty cool art discussions too. Nice, nice. I mean, that's cool. Would it be interesting to me? Would you think it would be interesting to me if I joined? I feel like I'm going wrong somewhere here. I'm not sure where, but I feel it. I feel it. I got this feeling inside my balls. Whoops. I got this feeling. Man, feet are freaking weird, bro. Like, how do you draw feet? I think it doesn't have to go too far. So it's like we can stop here. Cool as. Whoa. I'm not super sure, I guess, but I feel like they've been talking about stuff a bit more in depth. Want me to send you an invite, the link, an invite, and you can see for yourself. Might be interested. Maybe. I mean, I can join, but I don't guarantee that I'm going to be active or anything. I'm barely keeping up with my server. So do send it if I do find some time and just like I'm intrigued or interested to see what they're talking about, then I'll hop in. This is what I didn't want, by the way. I didn't want to start going in detail with just one part, and I just did that with the feet. That's okay though. I want to talk about something more important potentially than drawing today, actually. Which is about the video that I sent over in the Discord. I don't know, I forgot which channel I sent it on, but it made me think about a lot of things. I guess their server is a bit more active than yours. I mean, I would reckon like any other server would be more active than mine. Yeah, I don't even know. I didn't even try to pronounce that. So the Veritasium. Yeah, that one. It's incredible, dude. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop and talk about it because this is. I've been like since I watched it at around like 5-6 p.m. and I've been thinking about it. Like I watched it at work, and I was like taking the bus and I taking the metro, and I'm just like thinking about it. I didn't even want to listen to, put the headphones and listen to music. I didn't want to just like distract myself with anything else. I wanted to just like think about it. And so basically the video is about the video is about a lot of things, but what stands out to me, I'm just gonna talk about the what stands out to me. Merry Christmas. It's about basically trying to predict the future, but not really, but more like knowing the rules of the game, And so they start the video with talking about like the normal distribution. It's as if like if let's say for example, like what was the example they took? It's like the average height, for example. So you would pick a country, and then you would like start measuring like the height of men, let's say, right? And you would find like some people are a little short, extremely short. Some people are extremely tall, but then you will have this like this bell curve where you will find the average height here. It's nice when you don't have to do anything and you can just enjoy thinking. Yeah, sometimes I find myself like doing the opposite. I might have read a summary of the vid. Nice. So at least you're going to have understand what I'm saying, because I'm trying to project the video onto my life, because it was that interesting to me. So just for anybody who's maybe would pop up, and I doubt there's anyone going to be watching this, but for the one person who might potentially join. So this is the average height, right? So this is the curve that you get, and you're not gonna get much out of this, because the more you measure people, the more you're gonna get this, the more refined this curve is going to get, right? So this is like the normal distribution, right? And then there's other rules, well, other areas in life where they don't really go by this rule, and they take the example of a lot of things. So they start with the example of wealth distribution, right? So they see that, and they apply a lot of mathematics. They talk about a lot of mathematics. I didn't really fully understand the mathematics part, but then they explain it in like physical terms, I would say. And so we start like this curve would go like, it's I don't know, in math we call it in French like une parabole. It's a parabole. What do you call it in English? Anyways. And so this is like the amount of people who are, this is like the percentage of people, and this is like the wealth, right? And there's the power law, exactly, thank you, as they called it. Yeah, the power law. So this is basically the power law, and the power law applies, like I was gonna say, into wealth distribution. So for example, and you would hear this all the time, the top 1% own like, I don't know, 99% of the wealth. I don't know, I got this. I probably bullshit it, but the wealthiest people are just like very few, and it doesn't go apply to this rule, because if it does, then you'd have a lot of people getting paid around the same salary. Some people would have a lot of money, some people would have like basically no money, but most people would be in this area, right? I think that might be called the exponential curve or exponential decay. I think it's called exponential decay. This is decaying, because exponential, for me at least, it's like rising, exponentially, because it's decreasing. It's decay. Yeah. Thank you. And so other ways they explain this is with forest fires. And so they would look at an area. Actually, they made like some pretty amazing simulations. I don't know. Have you seen the simulations they used? Because if you haven't, I'm ready to show them right now. I don't really care about the drawing anymore. I'll finish it, but I'll come back to it. But I need to show this. The simulations are very impressive. They said in the video that they're going to link the platform that they use the simulation on. Hopefully, I'm gonna find it. Some things are not normal. To play around with the simulation in the video, you can follow these links. Okay, so forest fires, yes. Okay, you can show the simulations. I don't think I saw. Okay, great. So this is basically, this simulates forest fires. And so before I show it, I'm going to try to explain it to the best of my abilities. You know, you have a forest, or maybe you have a land. It's basically empty, right? I'm gonna move the chat from here, just so I can see the buttons. Right, a forest, a land that's basically empty, and then you plant seeds, whatever, and the trees will start growing, right? And this is in the span of like years, whatever, right? And then like the whole area would become basically forested, and then a slight little thing, which is a lightning, like a lightning bolt. Is that what you call it? A lightning bolt would come down, and it would spark a fire, and then there would be a forest fire, right? Now, in this example, like they're obviously, forest fires have different magnitudes. Some forest fires would be small. Some forest fires would be large, very large, and that depends on how much green is in the area. And this is how it's going to I mean, I guess we're gonna see it. So tree growth probability, and then lightning strike. It's a strike, not bolts. And then steps per frame. Let's see that. Right, so, okay, hold on. Can I adjust the speed of it? Steps per frame, I think, Can you see it, first of all? Yeah, okay. Pretty but slow data. Can I adjust the speed? Tree growth? Is this the speed? I think it's the speed. So you see here, your trees are growing, right? And then that little bolt right there, it's a lightning strike. And mind you, these are like the same lightning strikes. So it's like the same like power, let's say, the same effect. Well, not the same effect, but the same power, the same everything. It's not like it's not a big lightning strike versus a small lightning strike. However, like all these lightning strikes that are the same have different effects. Steps per frame might be speed. Okay. Yeah. You got it. Okay, maybe speed it up a little bit, because this. Now you know what? Actually, I'll wait. Are they only in their position? Exactly. Yes, you're right. So this is getting very forested right now. I don't know if it's gonna get more green, or if it's gonna get like the whole thing is gonna become green. But this is getting like very green right now. And so potentially the impact of a lightning strike coming down and burning the thing in a large area is larger. Exactly right. That's exactly right, Derby. Yeah, see, okay, that one's small. That one was small. I raised it a little bit. There was a strike. Oh, look at that. There you go. Beautiful. I want to see a big one. There it is. There it is. Isn't that just incredible? Isn't that just amazing? And I look at that and it's like, first of all, how do I get a lesson from this and try to apply it in my life? But second of all, it's like, you know, like the calm before the storm. This just confirms it to me. I don't think they went into It's very satisfying. I think it was very satisfying. But they didn't talk about it in the video, which I thought was interesting, because it's literally the calm before the storm. Like everything, if you think that everything is great and you know everything is perfect, and we're talking life now, right? Everything is great in your life, you just wait. It's kind of scary, but in a sense, but not really, because here's why it's not scary. It reminds me of like a particle sand game where there are different materials and there can be chain reaction. Yeah, it's more, it's not fractal, but it looks fractal a little bit, but I don't think it's fractal. So yeah, the calm before the storm. It's like, let's say you're living a very cozy life, right? You're living a cozy life. You had a roof on top of your head. You have food in your plate, you know, and it's just a matter of like a lightning strike that would just mess everything up. You know, you are you're happy, just wait, you naive child. Yeah. So like I said, like I was saying, it's just you are one lightning strike away from losing all of that, you know, and you're not aware of it because you don't know the future. Really, it's very unexpected. You can't really know where the lightning bolt is gonna strike, but also its impact, right? Like, who knows how much flammable material is actually accumulating? Yeah, 100%, yeah. And so that's scary, you know, that's scary. You think everything's going great and you want everything to be great, but it feels kind of inevitable that you're gonna get hit by a lightning strike and it's gonna mess you up, right? And problems can have started to build up over long periods. Yeah, that too. So okay, we'll get into that. That's a very good point. And so I'm thinking, okay, if my life is great, okay, before I get into that, they did mention a real life example of forest fires in some country. I forgot the country. They tried to apply a policy. It's called, I think it's called the 10 a.m. or the 10 p.m. policy. And so firefighters would go every day at 10 p.m., let's say, or let's a.m., and they would like try to fight any fire that just has started, right? If you find a fire every day, they're going to catch it and put it down before it spreads. And theoretically, naively, that sounds like an amazing idea. We're not going to have forest fires anymore. But that just increases the potential of a lightning strike, or it's just like a cigarette being thrown and causing like disaster. Like, imagine, like, you try to protect it. The greens, you know, the trees overgrow and there's a lot of green in the area. And then one slight little thing is going to cause disaster. You know, it's going to burn the whole thing. Right? And so what firefighters started doing, obviously they're not doing that anymore, thankfully. And then what they started doing is, whenever like some fire would start in a forest, they would just like, before they go directly going into taking it out, they would assess it and see if it's good or bad. And by good or bad, I mean they would sometimes just let the fire do its thing. You know, the real solution is to just keep everything on fire all the time. I mean, that's not, I mean, it's kind of funny the way you said it, but it's kind of like real, you know? So the firefighters would not start fighting the fire straight up. They would just like let it do its thing. Sometimes they would even start fires on their own, you know, just to burn some stuff. Just for when a lightning strike happens, it doesn't cause disaster. Evaluating like the net positive or negative of a fire. I'm not sure what that means, the net positive or negative. But yeah, so they control how much fire. The firefighters are not trying to get rid of the fire, they are managing it. Right now they're managing it. Sometimes if there isn't enough fire, they would start some fires. If there's too much fire, obviously they're gonna fight it. If there's enough fire to keep this from happening, then that's good. I've heard people start fires on purpose, like healthy environment reasons. Exactly, and this is one of the reasons I believe, right? Okay, so back to the idea of positive, negative means like the overall impacts. Okay. So back to the life thing. It's like your life is great, and you're living a cozy life, and you know, knowing this information now, you're waiting for disaster to happen. But you don't really need to do that. You can just create disaster in your own life. If you're not escaping it anyways, you might start little disasters in your life to protect you from the big disaster that might potentially strike you if you don't do anything about it, or if you keep your life cozy all the time, right? And that's just like very interesting to me, because it's like when you don't work out, right, you're gonna get hit with something, or you're gonna like, you work out and then in your 30s and your 40s your back is gonna hurt, right? So start working out. Working out is like the little disaster, the little resistance that you're gonna, the little pressure that you're going to apply to yourself. So when you grow up, right, you don't really have the big disaster, which is your back hurting, like having all these problems, all these health problems. You can just create disaster totally. Okay, but I kind of do like that. It sounds a little chaotic, but also maybe kind of fun. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't think I wouldn't say chaotic, but that's just like coming back to it. I think that's just life. Like live life. You know, if you live life, then you're already creating chaos in your life, right? If you living life and you're interacting with people, you're gonna fight with some people. You're gonna like some people, and you're gonna love some people. You're gonna hate some people. You know, you're gonna go into a relationship, and you're going to break up with a person. You get your heart broken. You know, you're going to get fired out of a job, and you're going to not get your dream project, right? All of that is just like little disaster that you're creating in your life in order for you to not be inflicted with a greater disaster. It sounds like you're just managing small problems before they compound into big ones. So yeah, it's I mean, you can look at it that way. The way I'm looking at it right now, taking chances, making mistakes, getting messy. Magic School Bus reference. Oh, that's interesting. I do not know that reference. But the way I look at it, at least after watching this video, and I know that take as well, Derpy, is like, you're not, there is no problems that compound, you know? You said that manage small problems before they compound. If you're living a cozy life, there are no problems. Right? There are no visible problems, let's say, right? I mean, you're literally living your best life, okay? Everything's fine, everything's great. I wouldn't say best life, but a life where you are in your comfort zone, you know, you're sort of like stuck, but you're fine with it, right? And that is kind of, you're thinking of it as your best life. But then life would just like give you a big slap on your forehead. It was just like, right? And you know, you're going to maybe not even, it's gonna knock you real bad, you know? And so there are no problems until something happens, right? But I've heard the take there's always problems, maybe. Yeah, so the other take would be there are problems, but you're probably ignoring them. And so, for example, this is life Will Smith. Will Smith slap you? yeah. Let's take the example of smoking, right? Try to keep his wife's name out of your mouth. Damn, dude. I mean, Chris Brown, he should have seen, if he watched the video, he would have seen it. He would have seen it coming. Maybe he would have dodged it or something. But let's take smoking, right? A person smoking, let's say, for 20 years, all right? After 20 years, let's say he's 40, he has, I don't know, prostate cancer, he has, and it's a thing, by the way, smoking can cause that. You know, a friend of mine, her father actually did suffer that. You know, you have bad lungs, probably. You know, your lungs are very messed up and everything, and so you're living a good life. I mean, you think that you're living a good life. You're smoking whenever you get tired or you get stressed. You pull out the cigarette and you're smoking like 3 packs a day, and everything's great. But you're not feeling the impact of the problem right then and there, right? Up until 20 years when you go to the doctor and they tell you that you have such and such illness, right? So that I think is maybe what you're talking about. Hopefully that's what you're trying to say, Derpy. And I would say, okay, yeah, it does make sense. But also, I would also say, like, maybe the fact that you think that there are no problems, I think that is also can be right, depending on where you're looking at it from. You know, if you're looking at it from the point of view of the person who's living life thinking that there is no problems, then yeah, there are no problems. But you know, if you're like a third person kind of like type of situation, then you see there are problems happening, but they aren't aware of it, right? So yeah, there are problems. It's like think about what conditions you might be creating for yourself in the future. That's exactly right. And you know, like there's always this saying about, like, you know, your habits make up your future you, or something like this, right? And it's true. It's as, you know, hey Marcus, how you doing? As I wouldn't say cringe, but as like what's the word? Classic? It's not classic. As boring as it sounds, for lack of a better words, it's true. It is true. Chat watched the video and we're talking about it. Yeah, I feel it feels like I just watched one piece of content from their channel and now like I'm thinking about the world. How are you, fellow Scotcher? We're doing great, man. How are you, Marcus? How's the freaking beast machine coming up? Very interesting. Yeah, it is very interesting. So, okay, so I brought up the example of working out. So you're working out, you're creating some stress for yourself, so you don't really suffer the consequences of a larger disaster later. Same thing would be with, you know, the spiritual kind of like area, right? Or your meditation or your mental health, right? And so they would go like, they would say maybe meditate, do this and do, you know, meditate and try to focus yourself and try to how would you say it? Like make yourself go through small amounts of boredom maybe, or thankfulness. Thankfulness is a very big thing. Like a lot of people do talk about like how you should be every night, you should be grateful for 3 things in your life, and that's like, that creates a habit of like, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that. So when you lose something, you're like, I'm still really happy and thankful for the stuff that I have in front of me, right? And it's just amazing to think about. And so it doesn't only stop there, honestly, which is why it's very, very impressive to me. Like, it doesn't only stop there. And so like if we go back to this kind of like behavior, of something like happening, and it would cause like a lot of impact compared to some other things, right? Even though like they are the same at the same scale. I thought about it when it comes to work, or when it comes to let's call it like the life game, right? The game of life. And it's like, first of all, you need to know what game you're playing, right? You need to know what game you're playing. Do you really want to play that game? Right? It's kind of an abstract mathematical concept or something, sort of thing that can apply in a lot of situations. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. To make me glad y'all have that. Eitzel? What's Eitzel? An interesting word. So maybe not mathematical entirely, maybe more abstract. What was I saying? Yeah, so applying this like in the game of life. And so they do want to mention in the video how like most people think in terms of like this first part. This first idea of the normal distribution. But life isn't really about normal distribution. Some ventures are about normal distributions, and some ventures are about, you know, the power law, right? And so if to be able to, or at least having the idea of what type of game you're playing, if you don't want to play, you sewer slide? It's like, it's good to have an idea of what game you're playing. So they do bring up the example of a business. For example, let's say you have a coffee shop, right? You're having the coffee shop, and Chad, I gotta go. All right, man, take care. Thank you so much for being here. We're not doing much drawing. I'm just like, I really want to talk today because this is interesting to me. So I appreciate you coming by, man. So your coffee shop, and you have like these customers, right? Some customers are going to pay little to no money. There's going to be some people would even steal from you, let's say. Some people are going to be paying a lot of money, but on average, this is like, let's say the average amount of money that people are going to spend, right? Another example they did mention was the airlines, and so maybe sometimes like something extraordinary would happen where there would be no people on the flight, right? Or little to no people on the flight, and maybe there would be like an instance where you had to pack people in the plane, but usually you'll have, I think this will go even steeper. You have a dedicated number of seats, and you just like have this is the average number. And so you can't really get out of these sort of like curves when it comes to these type of scenarios, right? But when it comes, and this is where I implement some of like my thinking into this. It's like YouTube. I've seen a lot of YouTubers and a lot of like, let's say, I don't know, TikTokers or anybody who's like famous. They would say like, I've been doing this for like 2 to 3 to freaking 10 years. I've been doing YouTube since like whatever, since like 2013, and they started getting famous only like 2 years ago. And it's like they've been making videos. They've been here almost like for the most of their adventure, right? And then something or some video or some short they make that gets them famous, and they find themselves, so they start traveling here, they're here, and then boom, they find themselves here, and they get like the 1,000 subscribers, and then here they get the 10,000 subscribers, and then here, and it's like very small distance between these, right? And then here they would get like the 1,000,000 subscribers, and then like 10 million subscribers, and so on and so forth. And it's like this This is the game. Now, do you understand how the x and y axes for these graphs? I wouldn't be able to explain them right now. I'm gonna have to maybe. Okay, so let's say this is. Let's say the example of like the height of people. Height. Men height. Okay. So the average is here, right? This is the top of the graph. This is some tall people. This is some short people. Right. So I would say. This is. I think this is a number. This is 0. Like this is 0. Let's say this is like 1. And this is -1. And this is how tall they are. So let's say the average. Oh, no. No, this is not true. This is not right. Hold on. That looks like a sideways exponential growth that you gave an example with the subscribers. A sideways exponential? Yeah, just because it really depends on where you place your x and y, right? So here is the number of subscribers or viewers or whatever, right? And this here maybe is like time. No, not time. So maybe the graph is flipped, but I think you know what I'm saying. I'm not good at math, guys. But here I'm interested in this one. So this is. Okay, I got it. So this is the number of people. This is number of people, n, let's call it, right? And this is the height. Okay, well, if this needs to be, there is no negative, negative 5 feet 10. So maybe this needs to be skewed. This needs to be skewed here. Or maybe like the graph actually starts, because the average is here. This is the average, let's say, no. I'm not sure, honestly. I tried to understand it right now, but now I'm kind of like confusing myself. It might be a little unstandard, but I think I get what you're explaining. Yeah. And by the way, look, I'm not taking this in a mathematical, like from a mathematical approach. I'm more taking it from an understanding of how, you know, the world works. I much rather have like concrete, you know, examples rather than abstract. I don't really do well with abstract. I'm sorry. So yeah, here I'm not really. From the normal graph, the x is the height. The x is the height. Yeah, I think so too. But like, if this is the and the y is how many people have that height. I'm saying that's what I was going to say. But to me, like this is the intersection of the axes. This feels to me like it's just 0. Like it makes sense that this is 0, right? So if here you find like 6 foot people, and like here you're gonna find the exact opposite, so -6 foot people, which obviously is silly, right? So I don't really know. Maybe skew this axe like over here, but then like you're gonna maybe make this the new 0, but people are not really 0 feet. You know, they need to start from like, I don't know, like 2 feet since they're baby. Is like how tall is a baby in terms of feet? I'm not sure. How tall? I don't measure in feet. Is a baby in terms of feet? 20 inches. Okay, I'm not very far. Roughly 1 2/3 feet. That doesn't need to be 0 in the middle. Okay, if that doesn't need to be 0, then that solves the problem. Ah, yes. Okay. Yeah, all right. Yep. Yes. Yeah. All right. Sweet. Yeah, thank you. So yeah. So here it doesn't, we're not thinking in opposites right now. This makes it much easier. So here you have like, I don't know, 2 feet people, and then here you have like the 6 feet, maybe like 7 feet basketball, like NBA players, and most of the people here are going to be like, let's say like 5'5", for example. I don't know which country this is, but like I'm saying whatever, right? So you asked me about this, and we were explaining this, but then I was talking first about life. Yeah. So yeah, I was talking about YouTube. Yeah, and going with this graph. That is a game. You know, YouTube, for example, is a game of where the power law sort of like governs, right? You're trying out content. You're doing this, and you're making this short, and you make this video, and you do this, and you do that, and hopefully, and a lot of people that I've seen, they just get really famous off of just like one video or one thing or one clip that made them famous. I mean, Filthy Frank became famous off of the Harlem Shake, you know, that dance that they do. Kai Cenat became famous with the Riz clips and everything. I Show Speed with I Show Meat. Okay, maybe way before that. Right? I don't know. There's a lot of examples. I mean, PewDiePie has been doing it consistently since YouTube basically started. So I don't really know where the point where he got really famous, but PewDiePie 100%, right? So there is a lot of instances where there is this one event that just like takes it, you take off with it, right? And it's interesting because now I'm thinking about myself and I'm thinking about what I'm doing. Luck leads to significant changes, but you can try to increase your luck or decrease your bad luck. That's exactly right. So you try to, this is what I've been thinking about too. It's like, how can you control that in a sense? You know, you can't really control it, obviously, because you don't really know what's going to happen in the future, but how do you position yourself in a place where, as you said, increase your luck or decrease your bad luck? And one thing that stuck to me the most is he said that maybe you shouldn't, it's not about consistency. Maybe you shouldn't be really consistent, or how did he say it? No, man, I want to quote this. Flip. Oh man, what's the word? I forgot it. But yes, persistence. So you don't. He said that you don't really necessarily need to be consistent, but you need to be persistent. And I didn't really understand the difference between the two. So I was thinking about it, like, actually while I was out, so I can look it up now. Consistent versus persistent. Yes. Consistent means acting in a similar repeatable way over time, like arriving early, while persistence means continuing to do something despite obstacles, like trying to solve a difficult problem repeatedly. Yeah, so like doing things differently. And I like that. I like that a lot. Because to me, consistency, all right, now I'm getting to my own conclusions. Consistency is about playing this game, right? Persistence is about playing this game. Okay? And, you know, the final thought that I will try to relate to myself is like with the streams. No, wait, hold on. I think you can gain control by gaining more awareness of the variables. That's 100% true. But like I said, the more, like however much control you think you have, you really don't really have any control because you don't really know what's going to happen, right? So, for example, let's say you're positioning yourself, and let's say you're doing YouTube and you're trying things out, and then something sticks, right? And you become famous, and you know everything works out great, right? But then the next day you get hit by a car, God forbid, right? You know, may God keep us protected all. But you get hit by a car, and then you're not doing YouTube anymore. And so you positioned yourself very well, and you succeeded when it comes to YouTube. But then you get hit by another variable that you didn't see coming, right? I'm sorry, you're typing too fast. Let me try to read that. Know what flammable materials you are in your environment, and if they can accumulate for good or bad. Totally, yeah. Consistent doesn't mean that you do something a lot, but persistent doesn't mean that you do something a lot, but persistent can imply you're doing something more. I don't know if I agree with that. So it's like it might actually be more about quantity than quality sometimes. Yeah, there's so many variables, you simply can't perceive it all. Exactly, yeah. Let me try to finish this example and see like if you agree with me on this one. So I said consistency is about playing the normal distribution. Persistence is about playing the power of law. And some variables are big and societal. Yeah, 100%. Like a car crash could be because the culture doesn't support safe driving. That's one example, you know. Or just like a war starts erupting in your country, you know, God forbid. Or there's a lot that can happen that you can't just like fathom at all, because your brain is gonna literally like short circuit. But coming back to this idea, I'm being consistent right now. I'm going to make this about me. I'm sorry, but I'm going to make this about me because I'm trying to relate it to me. I'm going to exercise some like narcissism here. Like I'm being consistent on YouTube. I'm streaming every day, right? I am drawing every day, right? Might be more normal distribution. Yeah. I'm drawing every day. Am I making huge numbers on YouTube? Am I like, I'm literally streaming every day for an average of an hour a day, right? If you look at another person, or like if I go tell somebody that I've been streaming for 2 years, they would think that I have like this huge channel and huge following community that is just like, and they would think that I'm doing amazing, right? But here I am, like rocking at 200 subscribers, right? And I'm not complaining about this, obviously, you know, because now I know the variables. Or before that, actually, I never really cared. If I wanted to just like make videos, I would have wanted to, but it's just like I'm being lazy or I don't have time or whatever excuse. But anyways, right? So ultimately, I'm only playing this game. I'm playing a normal distribution game, and so I'm streaming every day, and sometimes I get no viewers, right, on my stream. Sometimes I would stream and I would get no viewers, or little viewers. Sometimes I would get like, I don't know, 50 viewers. And these, for example, were the times where I streamed on my phone, right? I drew with pen and pencil on my phone. But then on average, like the average number would be like you and Derpy, yeah. You and B, like the whole gang, right? Even that is not really the average. The average is mostly like maybe one person, right? You and the gang would be like more like this, like here, right? I would say that's consistency and persistence. They co-occur. I'll tell you why I don't think there is no persistence. I mean, there is, don't get me, okay, yeah, there is, but I'm trying to simplify it right now. I'm trying to simplify it and think like, I'm almost like, me, myself, and I, I'm almost trying to make it like black and white so I can just like understand it. Me and Derpy and the Derp, yeah. and Burpy Derpy, we cannot forget about him. So I'm trying to make it black and white just to be able to understand it, and then I'll just like introduce some shades of gray. But for the most part, what I'm trying to say is I'm playing a game of normal distribution. I am streaming every day. I come on here and I have fun, drawing with you or talking to you about some random stuff, which I find very fun, by the way. But that's about it. I'm not really getting any, newcomers. Sometimes I would get a newcomer or two. I would get a subscriber in like 1 subscriber a week, right? And there is nothing happening, basically. There is no winning big. There is no, doing something and it just like popping off. I'm really doing none of that, right? And this is consistency. However, right, when it comes to playing this game and when it comes to persistence, right, it's just about like trying new things. I can even stop the streams, right? Stop the streams and turn to freaking to content, to making content, right? And that would be something else. That would be something new. It's not guaranteed that it's going to, it's going to work. Matter of fact, it's very unlikely that it's going to work, right? But then I would make some videos and then maybe I would stop and then go to making shorts, and then I would like hit something here or maybe hit something here or then maybe hit something here and then get back here and then boom, with one thing that I try, I would just like make it, right? So hold on. Sure, start out with the simplified colored. See, there's parallels in everything, bro. And then add more gray. Exactly. We can slowly increase the posterized filter. Dude, this is amazing. This is why I love talking about this stuff, because you can literally take that and implement it in just like freaking drawing, right? And it would certainly work. And so this is great and all. Like, this is fun. Like, we know this now. We know normal distribution, power law, whatever. And so looking back at my life, and I'm thinking, am I even playing the wrong game, right? Because all of this comes down to the goal. Like, what is the goal? What is the game that you're playing? For example, what I'd like to play is a game of getting like more subscribers, getting to do the things I want to do, I love, and getting money out of it. That's like the game I want to play, right? However, I'm playing a different game here. I'm playing a game of just like being cozy with some friends and drawing and learning, right? And there's nothing wrong with it, right? There's nothing wrong. To another person, that might just be the game, right? But to me, for example, I'm playing in a different game. I'm succeeding at a different game that I don't really intend to play, right? So the very first thing, before we get into this, like, what is the game that you want to play, right? And this is where a lot of people might fall in. They would fall into this trap. The joy of abstract thinking. I get you. Want to play the monetizing your passion game? Sure, you can call it that, right? And I was going to say, like, a lot of people fall in this trap of just like they spend their whole life playing a game, and maybe even succeeding, like here, for example, but it's not really the outcome that they really want, right? And whatever game they're playing, and if they succeed, it's great. But is it really what you want? And hopefully you have a good time doing it. Gotta eat the munches and pay the taxes and stuff. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you gotta do that. But this is the example I took because, and then maybe this is like a conversation for another time, but like I grew up without a lot of money around me, right? We grew up like a very, I wouldn't say not in a wealthy family. And so I'm finding myself that money now means a lot to me, right? I want to make it, I want to get out of there, get out of like the life that I used to live and just like explore things, right? So money was lacking when I was a kid, and it's like, I'm gonna work my ass off to get it, right? Whether it's that's healthy or not, I don't know. I mean, going after money is not inherently unhealthy, right? If I'm doing it in a moderate way, then that's great, you know. But that's just the fact that I didn't grow up with money. I want to make money. Like a lot of people want to make money even if they did grow up with money. So it's not, maybe it's not about not having money. It's just that maybe I have the passion, I have the need to go get it. You know. But anyways, I don't know. Yeah, we were talking about the game. So what game do I really want to play? And then once I chose the game I want to play, let's say, as you said, the monetizing your passion, am I going about it the right way? Am I going about it with the normal distribution, or am I going about it with this sort of game? I think the healthiness might depend on what money means to you. Honestly, this is going to be a big tangent right now. I don't want to get into it right now. I would love to get into it, but not right now. I wanna keep this like focused on this first. But I'm more than happy to get into it like maybe tomorrow, because that's a big topic that I'm very happy to explore. Maybe it could be healthy to want to make really a lot of money if you have the right mindset. I agree, but I'm gonna stop it at that. But yeah, so you identify your goals. Which game do you want to play here, right? And this is where like the mindset shift is to me, right? Because, but who knows what that mindset be? Yeah. So here's where the mindset shift is. Like I said, I spent like almost like it's approximately like 2 years short of 3 months right now I've been streaming, and I've been doing only this. I've been playing this game, and I am expecting growth. I've been playing a game of an average of like getting 2 viewers, and I'm expecting like 50 or like 100 viewers, which is not, you know, it's not logical, right? So what game do I want to play to get these numbers? This game right here. And this is where we get to talking about risks, right? They do in the video, they do bring up the example of like venture capital, and you have like these VC firms that would invest in like, let's say like 100 startups, and most of their money they get out of like 2 startups. Right? And then there's like I don't know, a 60%, and like they would fail or something like this. So most of their money would come from like a very few number of startups that they invested in. The rest is just like wasted money, basically. But it's not really wasted if you get like this whole ordeal. It might be a matter of thinking more about what audience you want to attract. Listen, it's not. I'm not trying to get into the goal right now. I'm just trying to get, but yeah, maybe that's relevant to the discussion. What I want is an audience that can engage, that are not brain dead. You know, I don't want an audience of like kids, or, you know, the people basically, the people that watch I Show Speed. I want the opposite of those people. You know what I mean? I Show Speed is like the absolute antithesis of what I want. And like what do people enjoy engaging? Maybe. Yeah, it could be a matter of like what interests do you want to try to share with the audience. I 100% agree. So for example, now I'm seeing myself expressing more of like me, or what I enjoy. And as you're seeing, Derpy, like what do? Like we draw, we talk memes, and maybe we talk philosophy once in a while. Right? Engagement that feels meaningful to you and your audience. 100%. I want to talk and I want to make content that just like makes you think, right? And one of the big reasons why now drawing is so important to me, because I can easily relate it to a lot of other things, like a lot of other aspects in life, and people can benefit from that, you know? Just like we're talking about this right now. Right. So memes, what memes, drawing, and philosophy, or important matters, or artistic matters, right? So these things, they matter a lot to me, and the type of audience that I want are people that are into this as well, and you are a prime example, Derpy, right? So yeah, this is let's say like this is the type of audience that I want. So what I need to do is not stream every day and do the same thing, right? So I need to take some risks, right? And this is about like the whole conclusion of it all. Like, take some risks. What I'm doing right now is I'm being cozy. I'm streaming every day. To me, this is not a risk. Obviously, streaming to me when I first started was a very high risk, because I didn't want to share myself. I was very reserved. I did not want to go into this. But now to me, this is not a risk anymore. This is just like another day, right? And there's nothing changing, right? What is something that has the potential to change? Do something that has the potential. Do one little thing. Create your own lightning strike that might potentially like explode your channel, right? Create that, lift those weights that okay, well, lifting weights is actually kind of like normal, I think. Or like meditate for the day where you get like a disaster, you don't really feel it, and you would still feel grateful, right? Those type of things, right? Draw memes philosophy. I think you're not just talking about drawing. You might be talking about like learning anything, maybe. Yeah. I agree. Learning anything, but like learning anything, taking it from the lens of drawing, and that you can apply to anything that you want to learn too. Anything else, any skill. Because if you get into learning, it can give you a certain self-awareness that applies to other skills and domains. 100%. You want to do something more proactive, I guess. Yeah. Take more control of things one way or another. Yeah, I mean, maybe a grind set sort of thing, almost. Grind set. Are you talking about the risk? I'm sorry, maybe I'm reading like the chat or late. Yeah, a grind set. I wouldn't say grind set, because this is like going back to consistency, being consistent versus persistence. Persistency doesn't mean that you grind and you do this every day and you hustle and you stay up late and everything, but you just like try things out, like have fun, right? Have fun, because to me the grind set have like maybe almost like a red pill negative annotation to it, where you have like you do this and you work and you put in the hour, put in the work, put in the hour, and take what's hours, blah, 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 right? All of that. No, it's just have fun trying new things. Going back to the YouTubers, most YouTubers, they were like really doing it, and they were like not really caring what they were doing. They just like happened to get famous off of one clip, and they didn't think it was going to work. Most of them, they would wake up the next day and they would find like hundreds of comments or subscribers, and they would see their stuff shared everywhere, and it's like they wouldn't even understand why. Persistency could be about being true to your interests. Yeah, okay, wow. That's with just that, you are potentially taking me to a whole another discussion right now, and it's about what's the word? Man, I keep losing words. Authenticity. Being authentic is the number one sort of like trait that can open up hundreds of doors, I feel like. Yeah, not quite a grind set, because that can kind of get maybe fixated, maybe obsessive. Yeah. I don't like to use that word. It's just not me, because the use of that word became very related to the red pill kind of like mindset, which I don't really like. But yeah, with your comment there, like authenticity, bro, very, very important. And this is, for example, something that I'm still working on. Authenticity, I'm still working on that. Because I feel like I've been raised on being shamed for who I am, if that makes sense. So when you're a kid and you get, you know, I don't know, grounded for expressing yourself or anything, the more that happens to you as a kid, the more you feel like, oh, that probably means that I don't really know to show myself. I'm just going to shut down and not let anybody in, right? And this is maybe this is like a me problem or a me thing that I'm struggling with. But yeah, that's like at least an example. So yeah, so okay, I want to get to like a conclusion or something here, because we talked about a lot of things. I want to get like somewhere with this. Just knowing, like, and the thumbnail of the video is just like very true. It's like most people are playing the game of life wrong, right? And this is like life. This is life. This is what literally happens in life. You know, we're talking forest fires. We're talking avalanches in snowy areas. We're talking, I don't know, we're talking wealth distribution. We're talking like very complex systems that share the same rules, right? Learning to share yourself with the world, sort of thing. Yeah, so yeah, when you've been raised on not learning that, you sort of like try to learn it when you're an adult, which, you know, nothing is wrong with that. This canvas became like a red string conspiracy. you know that meme with the guy in front of like the boards and he's like trying to explain something? That's me. Manny, hello, man. But yeah, so I think when you know all of this, it's like maybe take more risks. Know the game, first of all, know the game which game you want to play, and take more risks. And another thing that I want to close off with, I think maybe you don't need to be playing this game all the time. The law power or power law or whatever it's called, maybe you don't need to play all of this all the time. So for example, going back to YouTube, okay? And so these YouTubers, I said they did some videos, they make some videos, they don't succeed, they don't really, they very they have like, they're not very well known, and then boom, 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 and then they make this one video or one clip that gets them very famous, right? And then running can feel like flying sometimes, low-key. Jogging makes you closer to ascending to godhood, derpy. Damn. Okay. So back here, like we're talking about like the YouTuber that does this, boom, 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 and then boom, they get famous, right? So what do you do after this? What do you do? I mean, you know, potentially you can get even more and more famous, right? But like, how do you keep that? And this is my hypothesis, and maybe if you think something else, Derpy, let me know, or Manny too. Like after this, you start playing the normal distribution, I think, right? Because here, this YouTuber is like, they have like the audience maybe that they want. They are getting money out of the stuff that they do, right? Because of just like this one video. And what you see a lot of people do when it comes to YouTube is like one video gets famous and then they start making they start doing the same what's it called, formula. They start applying the same formula to all of their videos. And this is like coming out of YouTube. Disney is literally applying the same formula in all of their in all of their movies. You have the character, they introduce something like in this first half of the movie, and well, not third or something, and then like there's a problem here, and then something here happens. You have like this struggle, and then something lights up for the main character. This is like the peak of their struggle, and then happily ever after. This formula, you would find it in every Pixar or like animated movie. I wouldn't say, even potentially like live action movies, right? This is a very well-known formula. This is like it's called the hero's journey, right? And so here, those formulas can definitely make stuff repetitive. I mean, if you know how to tweak things, I agree. But if you know how to tweak things enough, most people won't realize. People who wouldn't know about this stuff, I'm pretty sure they're not going to realize it's basically the same movie over and over, because they misinterpret what actually caused what actually caused a success. They attribute it to the wrong variables. Yeah, but like I said, most people, I'm pretty sure most people will not be aware of it. So coming back here, because, okay, so these movies, right, they know their formula, and they are applying it, and they are applying it, and applying it. And their game is making money out of their movies. And they are succeeding. They are making a bunch of money, except maybe for the latest Sony. Is it Sony? Or is it? No, not Sony. Not Sony, no. What's that one game? I added this right now, and it looks like she's like an earthbender or something, or maybe doo-doo water bender. Yeah, doo-doo water bender. So, right. So after playing this game, I think it's only a matter of time to just like start playing this game. I guess the thing is that having a formula, even if it's imperfect, might be better than no formula at all. 100%. 100%. No, not Sega. No. It's not a game. It's a movie. It's Elio. Yeah, Elio. Elio. What's the studio? Pixar. Yeah, Disney Pixar. Certified shit vendor. It's easier to use the same formula, or age has stopped trying to innovate anyway. I agree. So, I mean, some people are going against the grain and making some original stuff, and especially like with the indie kind of like loving people. But yeah, I agree. Culture is dead. Inspiration is marketed. Anything niche is co-opted until something industrial area tier. I mean, I wouldn't be as pessimistic about it, but I see where you're coming from. Happens again, we're stuck recycling everything but plastic, which we casually need to recycle. Yeah. I mean, I'm not as pessimistic. I do see some people actually trying to make some original stuff, and I see it all the time with animation, and it's great. There is some change. There's always going to be some change. I don't see it as, you know, very bleak. But yeah, another example would be a restaurant. A restaurant would start, you know, maybe start with different plates, different flavors, different ingredients, until they find that one sweet spot where a lot of people respond positively to their foods, and they go like, okay, we found it, we need to go hard on this, we need to use this. And so they transition from a game of normal power law to a game of normal distribution. And I think that's just fascinating to me. To me, that's just like incredible. I feel like there's a lot of good stuff going on. It can just be hard to see. I agree. You just have to look in the right places. But yeah, I think this is a finish to my ramble. I love talking about this. I'm low-key being normal. If I was pessimistic, the whole world will fracture. Damn. Okay. All right, Yapville. We're out of Yapville right now. We're back to normal stream. And you know what I always thought? I was thinking, like, coming back home, I was trying to look for an argument for myself to be like, maybe I'm not playing a normal distribution game. And by the way, I do feel like I'm playing most for the most part. I'm playing the distribution game right now. That was mentally stimulating, 100%. But I was thinking like maybe I would see like these stream raids on Twitch, for example. Maybe out of nowhere, I would get like a famous YouTuber, and they would think, okay, I'm just going to check out somebody who's streaming, who's drawing, and who's streaming right now. And they would have like these bunch of like viewers, and they would just like raid the channel. That could happen. That could be the lightning strike, you know. Thanks for sparing us, Manny. Yeah, that could be my lightning strike. Who knows, right? So, you know, that is true, but I'm still not positioning myself in a place where that is more likely to happen, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm just gonna shut up now. I'm tired. I actually get tired just like when I talk a lot to talk a lot. All right, I'm going to try to draw over this mess. Maybe I'll pick another color. This could be like an interesting art piece of like there's a lot of chaos in here, and inside of the chaos there's a person doing like a Zen kind of like pose. Where is the chat? Lol, imagine getting stream rated. Yeah, I mean, the possibility is not zero. You might need more of a reputation for that, kind of like lightning strike, sudden exposure. Do I though? Do I? Everything is a bell curve in the end. The normal distribution is absolute. Get it twisted. You're a pawn in a universal chess match. You mean nothing to God, if they even exist. Get it twisted. I don't agree with you, Manny. I strongly disagree with you. Or at least have certain social connections. I don't know. I mean, I've seen. I used to watch Connor on YouTube, and he would go on Twitch and he would go like to small creators, and they would be literally playing a game by themselves. They would have the controller, and they would be like playing a random game, and they would start getting bits, whatever, like the currencies on Twitch, and they would just like go crazy, like, oh my god, Connor, whatever. So I don't know about that. Yeah, I was kind of suspecting it too, Manny. Like maybe the exponential growth is also a bell curve, but we're just like too zoomed in to see it. The exponential growth is a bell curve. How do you see it as a bell curve? How would you think it's a bell curve? And I mean, the exponential growth is over time, right? So if we're talking about like being too zoomed in, like you can never be more zoomed in, less zoomed in than using the bell curve. I think. I don't know. Exponential growth could actually just be like a tall and skinny bell curve. So You're talking about like this, basically. It's like you're taking a survey. I strongly disagree with you, Manny. In all caps. I mean, there are the parts about like gods, you mean nothing to God and all that stuff. I strongly disagree with that. And thanks for indulging me, Derpy. And I do agree, no growth is substantial. You can always zoom out even more. It's not just about zoom, I guess. I'm trying to think about like this skinny kind of like curve you're talking about. And I'm trying to apply the YouTube example to it. So sometimes you would get 0, like let's say no views, and then sometimes you would get a lot of views, and then the average is but it's like very small. So the average, because you have an average here. I think, okay, so let's say 0 views, 1 million views, and then your average, this is your average, mind you, like this is your average, and your average is like from here to here, let's say, I don't know, 50K, let's say, or maybe 500K. Right? You're still getting 500 here, right? You're not getting the 1 mil. I mean, on this end, like if you take the graph from here to here, you're doing amazing, right? You're doing amazing. You're getting 5K plus, and not only that, but you're like going very fast into down, like from here to here, it's like maybe 507, like, but from here to here, like it's a very steep that you get, like, I don't know, 900 maybe. Maybe a bell curve can be weighed to one side or something. Huh? Oh, so something like this? Oh, we're not talking normal anymore at this point. So something like this, you mean? Oh, I don't know about, I mean, there needs to be more research, or maybe they've done research and like more something like this. Is this what you mean? One side really steep and the other is more gradual. Okay, this is what you mean, yeah. I don't know if you see it on YouTube or not. Yeah, you do. Also, I bear no opinion on God, really. I've given up on trying to comprehend that with human metrics. My stance doesn't make my understanding any less substantial. It's just the most logical thing. I would say I'm atheistic too. Yeah, I like that. Who knows what the shape might be in reality when we look at all the possibilities. I don't know. I feel I'm not very convinced about this one. The reason why is I haven't really seen an example. Like I wanna get like maybe an example where this would apply, right? Then maybe I would, you know, think about it. But as long as if this shape exists, then I'm pretty sure it exists in the world. But In what instances, I'm not really sure. I'm more agnostic than atheists, although I'd rather do without the label generally. Atheism gone. No question about the value and the value of God to just an absolute refusal of other religion. Oh man, this farm is long. Oh man, I'm gonna shower. Guys, all this awesomeness doesn't just happen. Wait, you're physically going to shower? Are you telling us that you're going to get a shower? I think I kind of get what you mean, how atheism can still just like be another religion. I hope you don't drown. Okay, at least I can sort of see it being read in a sea of mess and explanations. Yeah, he's gonna shower. I mean, probably not get baptized or anything. Yeah, he's far from that idea. Looks like. I sometimes see those videos online where there would be like what would you call him, like a pope, and he would raise his hand like this, and some kid would be like trying to high five him, thinking they're going for a high five. That's funny. I feel like the Veritasium video maybe wasn't that big of a deal to me, but I'm glad it gave us some pretty interesting, something pretty interesting to talk about. Yeah, I mean, it meant to me maybe at that point because I've been having these ideas, and then I watched that and I was like, whoa. And you know, you guys are great. Like, I love when you guys show up, and you know, when Manny shows up and he talks about all these philosophies and stuff like that. So, but maybe guys, if we like keep away from the religious topics, I mean, that would be amazing. Like, honestly, if you don't just like start talking about like religion or atheism or anything like that, I would love if we have like these, because religion is a very sensitive subject, and if we want to speak about it, maybe we can just like beforehand be like, you know, have that prepared at least, right? To have a civil, structured discussion about that. I don't just want it to be random, like randomly talking about this and that. These sensitives can be kind of, these topics can be kind of sensitive, so it'd be much better if we talk about them in a structured way. Yes, thank you. Neuro activation moment. Yeah, it really was like very, very interesting to me. I'm like at a point right now where I'm assessing like if the game that I'm playing is really the game that I want to play, right? And that I want to place my bets on and everything. It's funny. The comments on the video, we can look at them right now. The comments are hilarious. Most of them are just like about gambling. I'm not that invested in religion sorts of stuff, so it might not be that intense for me personally. Like, I'm not gonna judge you for being religious though, I guess, because I was in the past too. No, it's not about like, I mean, you are chill. I know you're chill. I'm chill about it too. But you would find these people that maybe they would start arguing out of like nothing, right? Over subject. I mean, to a lot of people, I think we can all agree that religion is a very sensitive subject, especially if they've been raised on it and they're not willing to change their opinion about certain things. Because imagine you go to a person and you present arguments that, God forbid, their religion is wrong or something. Something that just like would shock them, right? That would be, you know, emotions would be high. I fear that it would be more of an emotional conversation rather than an intellectual one, which most people, let's be real, like most people would be like very emotional around these subjects. So I'd rather not go into that because just no. Like I said, if it's structured, if it's like, if I'm willing to do about it, because at the end of the day, like I'm running the channel and I want to run what's talked and what's not, right? I think, yeah, some people might want to intellectually try to assert dominance. Yeah, and I was saying, like behind that, I think there's emotions. I don't think there's really intellectualism. I think there's emotions. But yeah, the comments. Insane refresh. Wait, hold on. So this guy straight up just goes, I think I understand, all on red. Take more risks, all on red. If it gets intense, I feel like it can be a bit easier for me through text because I can think more about what I want to say. And I agree, like, bro, Derpy, you are, dude, you're the chillest person I've seen online. Like, trust me, bro, you are so chill. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about, you know, some other people, you know. You know, potentially in the future. I just, like, from now on, like, we try to keep it religion free, or maybe not religion free, but like, you get what I'm saying, right? Hopefully you do. If you don't, let me know and I'll try to articulate myself better. I like the idea of billionaires existing and wealth inequality being in the same category as natural disasters. But intellect and ideologies and stuff can... Whoa! Okay, this website is blocked. Quap. Wait, hold on. Let me get that here. You're saying, but intellect and ideologies and stuff can be like a part of people's identities. They get defensive about or something. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. They get defensive about it, and so if you try to challenge their ideologies, that can be very threatening to them, and that's no good. That's no good. I mean, sometimes it's very good to give a person a good old shaking, but I'm not planning on doing any shaking here. You kind of mentioned like that it needs more structure, I guess, but like, can we get more structure somehow in this format of streams and stream chat? What do you mean? What do you mean? What kind of structure do you suggest? In terms of what? Also, the music stopped. It's about time I end the stream. I've been streaming for an hour, 40 minutes. Damn. Didn't you say like for talking about religion we'd have to think about some kind of structure beforehand? I mean, maybe I did say that, but I didn't mean it that way. I meant like if we're, because let's say for example today I decided we are going to talk about like this video. So it's about like, it's not like a contract or something that we need to plan beforehand, but it's just like, okay, today I want to talk about this, or if you want to bring up a subject, we can start talking about that, definitely, right? So maybe instead of just like throwing this random thought out there and then going into it while we are in another subject, maybe we will go like, okay, today we want to talk about this and we want to keep it to this. But like, for example, when you were starting to go about, what was it that you started to talk about? And then I was like, it's a discussion for another time. Was it authenticity or something else? I think it's something else. I'm going back into the chat to see what I didn't want to get into. I forgot. I really forgot. Was it about the type of audience? I forgot, but there was something there was a tangent that we were about to go into, and I was like, we'll keep it into another discussion. So I want to, if we're going to start talking about something, maybe talk only about that, right? It's totally understandable too, I guess. Like, kind of be clear about that kind of boundaries or something that you're right now much more interested in thinking about one thing compared to another. Yeah, it's I don't know. I feel like if we're talking about two things at the same time, like there might be a new interesting rabbit hole, but you want to pursue something else more first. Yes, I don't really want to make it about me, you know. I don't really. It's not like there's like something interesting to me. I want to talk about it, and you guys have to talk about it, and you can't really talk about anything else. I wanna like, you know, be loose with it, you know, not have it be about me or what I think is interesting. But also, if we pick something, not I pick something, if we pick something, maybe just like stick to that and not, you know, stray away, because like I said, and this is not even about the religion anymore, the religion thing anymore. It's about, you know, focus on talking about one thing and keeping the discussion about one thing, just to not get it messy. That's what I meant. Hopefully that's clear. Okay, I guess like whatever it is, it can help for it to be more coherent way or another. Yeah, so maybe coherence, is that the word? Maybe that's what I'm looking for. More about, that's what I meant by structure, not just like going all over the place, talking about like hundreds of ideas all at once. I think that would be confusing. He has respawned once more. Hello. Okay. And I think, wait, did you finish towering? Damn. Did that take you like five minutes? I don't mind being all over the place. I kind of do that, I guess, but with, I don't know, with conversations, it's not just about one person's interests. Yeah. It's more about the topic rather than the person. But yeah, okay, I think we can end it here. I've been streaming for more than an hour and 30 minutes, so that's good. So I don't mind if you don't want to branch out into other things as much as I might be inclined to. Thank you, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate that, Derpy. That's very respectful, and I appreciate that. Manny didn't drown. God bless. Hey, God bless. Hey, God bless. Manny didn't drown. Yeah, this was interesting. I feel like I let out a lot of energy. I have a feeling there was a shot of holy water in the tank. Oh, and I was low-key getting exercised. So 7 minutes shower. Oh, that's why. That's why. Okay. I mean, yeah, maybe maybe I don't know what kind of water you used. If that might potentially have some holy water. But yeah, try to keep away from that, I guess. Okay, Manny, my man, I appreciate you, stopping by. Derpy, it's always fun to have you. Bro got the demons out. Bro got that beast out inside of him. Oh wait, hold on, pause. Got the beast outside of him. Sounds good, healthy, maybe uncomfortable. Okay, I am going to end the stream now. I want to be able to do like an Indian accent. I never get it right. Whoa. I had fun, Chandrupi. Bro, trust me, we did too. We did too. It was a lot of fun talking about this stuff. And also maybe potentially maybe we see more of your work, Manny. Like the last few things that you've been posting are actually goated. Like I've seen, I'm not gonna look it up now, I want to go to sleep, but I've seen like an artist that renders kind of like you, Manny, and this artist is very established. Maybe when I find him, I'll put a reference on the Discord and something, and I'll tag you. But it's really cool. This stuff is amazing. I find myself slipping into them. Man, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm gonna have to watch a tutorial on YouTube or something. How to speak an Indian accent. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are just incredible. I always have fun talking about like these deep subjects. You gotta show me that. I will. I'm sorry if I'm not doing it today. I'm really sorry. I've been streaming for a long time, and I gotta. But I found him on. It's not Domestika. It's one of those websites where they teach art. I forgot what it is, but I will show it to you. I will show it to you. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one, which is tomorrow. All right. Peace. Take care. Bye bye.